going on, man?
No, Dan. Long time. We left on a cliff. We haven't done a show in a few weeks, like 3 weeks, and we kind of left on a cliffhanger. How many days after was it? I think it was about a week after. No, after you started your vacay. I don't remember.
Hang on. I think it was not even a week.
Yeah, about a week. So, since the last show, the scenario that we all knew could happen happened, and Trump. There was an attempt to assassinate Trump to get him out of the picture, because that's all they want. They just want him out of the picture. So,
Well,
so we kind of spoke. When we spoke the other day, what I was telling you, man, is I really think, the way everything played out. I mean, basically all the videos that came out, all the controversy regarding the Secret Service. I think, yeah, basically they didn't care how sloppy the whole operation was. As long as he was out, that's all that mattered. As long as he was out, like what I told you that day, that I think everything that happened afterwards is playing out exactly the way they intended. Like they were just gonna stall and say we don't know what happened. It was failures, and somebody was gonna resign, and so,
right. Yeah, I was going to say, just to preface this whole thing, is, it's funny because we started this podcast and it was your idea, and you wanted to do solutions
yeah,
because like you had told me that there's all these different things you hear about immigration, taxes, whatever it may be, whatever issues, and people always they rant on about the problem but no solution. So that's one main thrust of what we've done here, and the other one was, hey, let's talk about how we got to where we are today,
yeah,
right? And this is before this assassination attempt that we started doing this, and the whole point was, I was like, let's go back to JFK and show how the Secret Service took away JFK's security at the airport 40 minutes before he's killed. They didn't secure the scene, so the Secret Service was complicit in that. Now, that obviously, like in that podcast, it's not them that made the call, but they were part of it. And how ironic it is that here we are today, talking about almost another JFK moment. The whole thrust of what I was saying with the JFK, the RFK, and then your Nixon, Reagan. This is all deep state stuff that we didn't realize was going on until Trump became president and kind of exposed this. But the Secret Service and the United States government have been eliminating presidents either by framing them, assassinating them, trying to assassinate them, our whole entire lives before most of us were even born, in order to maintain power that they held covertly we didn't realize. And now here we are today with the same thing happening in our lives, right? So it's kind of interesting that we did this podcast in this way, where we're talking about how the government has seized power through assassinations and eliminations of presidents that don't get on with the deep state, and then you got Trump getting shot.
yeah.
And and the Secret Service, according to them, well, we are just completely incompetent.
Mm-hmm.
That's basically what they're either going, right. So you can see it's kind of like we almost predicted this. However, I had held the position that the Secret Service or the government wouldn't try to kill Trump because, like we were just talking about off air a minute ago, that it's so difficult to get away with now because of the technology, the internet, etc. Information shared so easily. Anybody can recreate this stuff. There's pictures, cameras everywhere out there at the rally. Good luck getting away with this. So all the information's come out showing the Secret Service to either be a level of incompetence that's impossible, or they're in on it again. And based on the history that we've gone over throughout this whole podcast, it's not a far stretch to say the Secret Service isn't this incompetent. They're part of this. They were complicit. At least the AIG, the agent in charge, or AIC, the agent in charge at the rally, that one had to know. The rest of them, they don't really have to know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I just thought that was an interesting point that we
No, for
almost
sure.
predicted it.
I thought about that the whole time. You making a emphasis on the Secret Service's actions on the day of John F. Kennedy's assassination. Little by little, hearing well, just that day, we were basically just seeing the Secret Service's reactions on the day that Trump got shot. Yeah, I was just thinking about the whole time, like, yeah, I guess for it to happen, the Secret Service has to be either
They have to be
manipulated or involved. At least something
right.
for sure. So in this
Right.
case,
You would have to trick them, or
yeah.
they're involved. And tricking them is going to be super hard. So why not just involve the AIC, the agent in charge, and the rest of them? You don't, like the ones who jumped on stage and all the police and probably the sharpshooters too. Everyone else there probably has no idea about this.
But
All the government and the deep state needs is the guy in charge, the agent in charge of the Secret Service at the scene. As long as that person does what they want, they can pull this off.
Well, let's
They don't need anybody else.
let's watch the video real quick, if you don't mind.
Okay. All right.
Just so we kind of show people kind of just refresh
We can
people
get
on what we're going to be
details.
talking about. All right, here we go. This is the full video. Here we go.
That chart's a couple of months old, and if you want to really see something that's said, take a look at what happened.
What I thought was weird about this whole part of the scene was that right there. You hear say we're ready, we're clear, and then they start saying move, and they don't do anything.
Yeah, that could be a couple things. I'm not going to really draw.
To me, it just seems like incompetence. Like they weren't even,
Former
none of them were on the
President Trump
same
was just in the
page.
middle of his speech when what sounded like possible shots were fired. We saw the former president, take cover. Security is now surrounding him and getting him out of the event.
I got you. Let me get my shoes, sir. Hold on, your head.
Let me get my shoes. Love that. What a bad.
Obviously, a huge security concern there. People were screaming. Still unclear exactly what happened, but a very big security concern there for former President Trump. Secret Service agents now surrounding him. And they are taking him off the stage.
That fool was just saying, "Fuck you guys."
Huh.
That's crazy, man. I mean, damn, if you would, you know what I mean? People that believe in like alternate dimensions, man, like shit. The direction things would have gone had he died. We're seeing one way. You know what I mean? That thing's gone and it could basically to me it just looked like it looked like it completely backfired on them. You know what I mean? They thought they were gonna take him out of the picture, and instead that fool made an iconic picture and just completely re-energized his base, got a whole new fan base. Just it completely backfired on them.
They would have been better off not doing it because, like I said, if you're going to do this, even if you have the full, deep state behind you, like you can't control everything, and there's just too much technology. Everyone has their cell phone out recording, right? Everyone can share information instant over the internet. They can put together all these different scenarios and videos and theories, and they can, look up all kinds of research. So it's super hard to do. So what the Secret Service did here was like, hey, we're going to take a hit for this, right? They're not going to be able to prove that we did it 100%, but we'll just claim incompetence and we'll claim failures, and we'll say heads are going to roll, and etc. And then we'll fire some people, and then we'll pay them off on their way out, and that'll be the end of it. And Trump's dead, but Trump isn't dead. So now they're taking the hits anyway, and they didn't get what they wanted. They haven't, because if think it didn't Nikki Haley come in second in the primaries?
Well, she was the only one that stood in, and I think one
Right, she
state
was second.
she was the only one that got delegates. I think she got delegates for
Right.
one
Okay.
state,
Okay.
like 2
So
delegates or something.
if he's dead, right? If their plan works and he's dead,
Yeah.
she's now the de facto nominee.
Yeah, I mean,
And she's deep state. She's willing to play ball with them. She wants that money, right? So now Trump's dead. You got Haley versus Harris or whoever they pick at the convention, whatever. It's all deep state. They have once again seized power, and the only price, if it worked, and the only price they have to pay is an embarrassing look. We fucked up. We're incompetent. We're going to make some changes. This ain't ever going to happen again. The whole spiel. Yeah. And then they walk away, and nothing happens to anybody, because even the people that are held accountable are going to be paid off. Yeah. So, but it didn't work. So now they're in trouble.
Well, I mean, yeah, it kind of bugged me too that, I mean, I don't know. I guess Trump must have had some sort of epiphany or something. Obviously, he had a life-changing moment, but he reached out to Nikki Haley and invited her to the Republican convention, and she spoke, right? I didn't see her part, but
I didn't see it.
Yeah, but I think he invited her to speak. So I don't know how that went, but yeah, I think that part would have been the scenario. Like, if he would have died, she would have been the only one, I think, eligible to get that, because she had a
she's the only one. She came in second. Yeah, she's automatically now number one.
And then I don't think Biden would have dropped out, but I think he would have just played nice, because he wouldn't have cared so much. He would have been like, oh, well, you know what I mean? Trump's dead, so it's okay. At least a horrible person is going to take over the country, so I'm good.
Maybe not. It doesn't matter. Biden drops out, Harris comes in, Newsom comes in, Haley comes in. It doesn't matter. They're all deep state guys.
No, that's what I'm saying. I don't think Biden would have.
With Trump gone, they've seized power and they've locked it down. Yeah. And the only price they have to pay is, hey, yeah, we made some mistakes. Yeah. Heads will roll. Changes will be made. Have a nice day. Give us all your money, because we're gonna really put the hammer down on you guys, on you Americans now, you middle class.
Well, it makes me wonder now. I mean, how far they had planned it out, because now you see everything that's happening now. Iran's supposedly about to attack Israel today, maybe. Yep. People are saying it's like a countdown, like in a couple of hours it's supposed to happen.
Yep.
The stock market just crashed. All of it.
Well, it didn't crash, but it's down a lot.
Well, in Japan it crashed, but it's going down. Yeah, like basically there's panic all over the.
Well, I don't actually know exactly where it is. I kind of looked at it, but I'm not sure where it is right now.
In Japan it did, but out here all these different trading companies, they all went down, so people can't even sell their shit. They're just blocking them from selling. So all kinds of stuff is just happening, man. So it makes you wonder, like, did they plan this, and then they still wanted Trump out because they didn't want anybody with hope. They wanted everybody just miserable, or at least just at their knees to just accept anybody that was going to be the candidate, Nikki Haley or Biden. You know what I mean?
Well, they want everybody. They want everybody under control, is what they want, right?
Yeah. And all of the other things. So you see what's happening in the UK. They're finally fucking. You know what I mean? That's finally blowing up. Exactly what we all knew what was going to happen. Right. And we're expecting to happen here eventually.
It's funny because, I mean, I have so much to say about everything you just said right now, but one thing. Okay. So I want to say this. So you have, so you would agree, right? And I think most people with reasonable, non-biased intelligence would agree that there is an attempt at a one world government, a one world monetary system, right?
Yep.
Okay, so you agree with that?
Yeah.
So tell me how, in the Bible, over 2,000 years ago, this is predicted. I mean, I think most people, the majority of people on Earth, would agree that anybody paying attention could see that they're going for a one world government, a one world dictatorship, a one world monetary system. And in John, or Revelation, the Apostle John writes about how there will be a one world government, a one world dictator, a one world financial system. And this is before there are even cars or electricity. He's writing this stuff. So, and then you have the Last Supper at the Olympics, God being mocked. That's like and then you have this Trump assassination attempt, and then you have the BlackRock CEO who what he wants to do is put everybody on social credits, right? Like you said with China. So the way that works is that they need a big event, though, like World War II scale, right? In order to reset the world's economy, they need a gigantic collapse of the economy. So what they want to do is raise everybody's debt, countries and individuals and corporations and every entity, raise everyone's debt so high. That's why inflation is so high. This is intentional, to raise your debt, reduce your money to debt ratio, so that when you could either start World War III, or you could just keep pushing the debt so high everywhere that you have a stock market crash around the world, and everybody crashes, and then they go, look, the economy's out of fucking control, wars broke out, we're gonna reset, we're gonna do this new world monetary system, and this way we can secure your financial stuff, and we'll scrub your debt 1-to-1, right? You're not gonna owe anything extra. We're going to take care of you, but you have to sign up for this social credit system. And the social credit system is not just a financial system. It's a system of monitoring. It'll basically be like your ATM card, or like, the Bible says a chip or whatever, the mark of the beast in your chip or something, that will not only have your financial information, it'll have your travel information, your health information, your job information. And then on top of that, so they want to monetize everything like that in the world. On top of that, they want to monetize the natural world. So all the parks, the forests, the lakes, the rivers, everything in the world that's alive, they want to monetize it. And it's funny because in the natural world, there's about 6 times more. If they can monetize the natural world, that's 6 times more than the economy of the world right now. So this is a big open door for them. And then, so then if you want to go anywhere, you have to pay social credits. You want to go to this lake, it's going to cost you some social credits, because the billionaires now own everything, including the plant, the blade of grass. They own it. Yeah. And this is what they're going for. So you can see how all this is coming together biblically. I wasn't even planning on putting the Bible in this, but it's just so obvious that these guys wrote about this stuff 2,000 years ago, and now it's happening. So if you get a conflict with Iran, or not even a conflict, this one probably going to full-blown war with Iran and Israel and Lebanon, you got you're probably looking at there's a good probability of World War III over that one, which will at that point probably cause this gigantic moment where they can reset the entire world's economy and seize power and control over every living thing on Earth. And that's the ultimate goal. And so the Trump assassination comes into this as well, because he's standing in the way of that. But that's just one part of what's actually going on. Anyway, I had a lot to say there, because there's a lot going on.
To me, it's not a coincidence. I don't think anything's happening just by chance. Everything has to be planned, like completely. The social credit score system in China is their goal for sure, because I think that was just the test ground, and to see how that could work socially and economically. So China's like a borderline capitalist, communist, nation. Like, they got people, under like
they're
iron
capitalist
rule, but they still let them have some freedoms like capitalism, like the movie industries and social media and stuff like that. So I think they tested it there, and they see these. I think the suicide rate there I heard is pretty high, but for the most part the economy's functioning. So that's all they need. So they say, well, it could work in China, it could work everywhere else. So I think that is what their goal is. That's why they're trying to destroy the dollar. That's why they're trying to kill Trump. That's why they're just trying to cause chaos and erase borders and erase cultures and stuff like that. They basically just want to wipe out the human history. Just want to reset, basically. Well, that's what they call it, the Great Reset. They want to reset everything and start new with this new monetary system you're talking about. What's it called? As far as that social credit score system, I saw that there was another one in report of it happening in Australia too. That they were like really considering like pushing it, but that kind of they kind of went away a
Well,
little
this is
bit.
a
But
world. This is a worldwide. This is a worldwide event, right?
yeah,
So it's going to happen everywhere. But and the reason they're pushing hard in the United States and China and things like that over some of the other countries is because once you get the big ones to do it, to fall in line, the other ones have no choice. And like with the social credit score, the way it'll work too. One more important point on that is basically what'll happen is it'll be like a one world monetary system, and the government in the private sector won't recognize you as existing if you're not part of it.
yeah. Oh,
And this is
you'll
in the
probably be a
Bible
criminal
too.
if you're
If you
not
don't
even part of it.
have the mark of the beast,
Yeah,
if you don't have the mark of the beast, which is on your hand or forehead, which is probably some sort of financial thing, then you can't buy or sell. And that's what the CEO of BlackRock is saying right now. And these guys are the ones really running things. Is that when this system goes into place, if you're not part of it, we don't consider that you exist. In other words, you can't travel, you can't work, you can't buy, you can't sell.
yeah.
That's exactly what the Bible says. It's crazy. Like all this stuff is coming together very fast. It looks like, I mean, to me, it looks like this is close to the end days. Now, I don't know. Nobody does. 20 years ago, or anybody who's listening, 20 years ago, who's old enough, 20 years ago, that there would be men fighting women as if it's normal, like full on fist fighting, right?
Yeah.
As if they're equal physically. You would have men thinking they can get pregnant, men thinking they're women thinking they're men, human beings thinking they're animals. They have these things called furries. Borders that are just wide open and everybody can come in and it's not even a problem. If I told an American this stuff 20 years ago, they'd be like, dude, you need to go seek help. Something's wrong with you that you think that these things could happen. And that's just a small list of the things that are happening. So what's happening right now is insanity, but it's orchestrated insanity in order to cause these big changes in the monetary system and for a one world government to be able to take control of all the people in the world. And at the end of the day, they'll try to make it sound good. We'll clear your debt. You're good to go. Don't worry. We're going to make this beautiful world with no pollution. Everyone's going to be equal. We're all going to have the same amount of buying power, etc. But what they're really doing is saying, we as the rich are going to seize every living thing and every plant on this planet, and we own it, and you guys are going to be our little workers. That's what they're really doing. You're not going to have shit, and you better be happy, or we'll eliminate you. And this is how. And this is not even hyperbole. This is what they're doing, and it's right in front of everybody's face. So, and the Trump assassination, which how we got on all this, is just another piece of the puzzle falling into place that really, all these pieces falling into place real quick right now is Israel, Iran, Trump assassination, the stock market, the Olympics mocking God. I mean, the most mocking of God I've ever seen ever, right? And on and on. All these things are happening almost simultaneously. Like it's the birthing, like the Bible explains Revelation, the end of days, as birthing pains, right? So throughout the history of the human civilization, human life, the entire history, God calls it birthing pains. And like when a woman's pregnant and she's pregnant, and for the first majority of it, there's no complications. She's just getting bigger and whatever, but complications. But when she gets close, she starts having birthing pains.
Mm-hmm.
And then they get stronger and stronger and faster and faster and stronger and faster and stronger and faster. And then eventually, boom, it happens. The baby's born. And that's how the Bible describes the end of days. It says, basically you get to a point where the tribulation of the rapture is about to occur and the birthing pains will get stronger and faster. And look how strong and fast. All these things are in the Bible. It's not like I'm making them up. And how would someone know this 2,000 years ago? So it really looks that way, but it does say no man will know. But it also says to look for these signs. So, I know we want to talk about Trump, but, to not include this.
It all fits. Yeah.
Right. To not include this, I would feel bad.
everything's looking bad, and I think it was all set up. And I think Trump was just a nuisance, and they just try to get rid of him. So imagine everything that's happening right now, but without Trump. Imagine like how how miserable it would be just to eliminate the only hope, and and the only voice and the only reason to fight. They just wanted to, just ruin people's hope. Basically.
Silence it. Silence it.
So, but him still in the picture, it's giving people hope that people still think there's a chance. It's just going to take, him getting back into power. And shit.
So can I go over like I don't know if you haven't done your theory on the Trump assassination yet, but can I go through mine?
Oh yeah, go for it. Yeah.
We'll just focus on the Trump assassination for a little bit here, and what you think happened, what I think happened, and we'll present what evidence
well, before you start, just in case.
I think obviously we both.
Before you start, just in case it fits with what you're about to say, I have, like I told you, I had one video of like a computer animation of the trajectory of the shots, and then I have another one which shows the entire timeline, and they combine the video we just saw, the original video of Trump getting shot, and then they combine it. They put a counter on it, and they combine it with the video of that was taken by the other spectator that got shot, where they show Crooks on the roof like getting into position. So I got both of those just in case it fits. I don't know. So
okay,
just in case you want. But yeah, go ahead.
Whatever video first. Go ahead and play whatever videos you want first.
Okay, well let's try just the Crooks one, just so people could see how ridiculous it is that you could see the damn shooter from the fucking stands, and the snipers weren't able to do it. So let me play it right now.
Can we bring him up for a couple of minutes later? A little bit later. All right, you get ready, McCormick. You get ready. I'll get you up here.
There he is.
The world will see a vibrant Republican Party that is bigger, stronger.
Yeah, someone's on top of the roof. Look.
Thank you.
There he is right there. Right there, see him? He's laying down, see him?
Yeah, he's laying down.
People see him.
And Sen, I'm here with you fighting like hell to get a senator elected and to make sure we take back the White House, because if we do, we're going to make America better than ever before. We're going to make it.
Yeah, look.
And it's not easy, because we have millions and millions of people in our country that shouldn't be here. Dangerous people.
Criminals. Assassin
we have criminals. We have drug dealers. We have people that should not be here. And it's much tougher than if it happened to be. We had the strongest border ever. If you want to really see something to say, take a look at what happened.
I hope he's turning this way. Be careful, guys.
So basically, I think the point of that video, what they're trying to do is just show how much time Crooks had to do this, and basically how competent the Secret Service was not to see it. So I don't know if that helps with what your theory is, but that was kind of a
I've seen that before. One thing in that video did kind of stand out to me that I hadn't noticed before is like all those people that are yelling from below the building that they can see him.
Yeah.
Are yelling the guy up there with the gun. Right to the left of that, up in the windows, there's two different snipers up there. That they're offset back into the room, which is stupid, right?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
But I know why they do that, but you do that in combat situations so the enemy can't see you, right? In this situation, you can go ahead and go up. There's not the fucking Taliban ain't out there. You might have one shooter or whatever, a couple shooters if you did, but you know what I mean? Like, you're not in battle. So go ahead, and why don't you just stick your head out the window and look and see what they're yelling about?
Yeah.
Right? I don't understand that, and I hadn't seen that before. But okay, here's my rundown of what I know, what my conclusion would be based on it. What I know right now is okay. So this Crooks guy, He goes to Home Depot that day, buys a 5-foot ladder. So the ladder up against the thing isn't his because that's a 10-foot. I don't think he used the ladder because it wasn't big enough. He didn't realize he messed up there. He brings a drone, a rangefinder, and an AR-15 and a backpack. The bike with the backpack isn't his. I saw another video where there's another guy, and he had the bike in the backpack that they were talking about. That's not his. He drove there and parked nearby. I don't know if it was a van or a car, but I know a van was found with the explosives, but I also heard a car was. Anyway, he had a detonator on him with 12 buttons on it, and he had 2 different explosive devices in whatever vehicle it came in, but either he didn't push the detonator or it didn't work. Anyway, so this guy, he shows up, I think at like 9:30 in the morning of the day, and he flies his drone around after I believe the Secret Service had set up and the police, and just scopes the fucking place out. Like, sees where everything is. Or maybe they haven't set up yet, but anyway, the video I saw said they did, but I find that hard to believe. But either way, whether they're set up or not, he still shows up at the event on the day, flies a fucking drone around, and is allowed to do that. Yet the Secret Service says they have drones, but their drones won't work, right? So you have the best technology we can't even buy. Yours doesn't work, but this guy got his from wherever, Walmart, and he's flying it around no problem. Sure. So this guy's allowed to do that. Then he leaves, comes back, and then he comes through the security gate, and they find a rangefinder on him. They don't take it from him. They let him have it and let him in. Then the sniper, the police sniper who sees him with the rangefinder, watches him and says he's using the rangefinder to look at the stage. So he's checking the range to the stage. And then they says, radio that to the Secret Service because that looks suspicious and I lost sight of him. So at this point, you're shut down. You're fucking shut down, right? You can't have a dude fucking checking the range. I mean, why would anybody do that other than to take a shot? It's stupid, right? So you should shut it down right there, but they don't. And so then after that, he walks around. He's walking around. He's seen on video multiple times, acting fucking weird, like different than everybody else. He's off from everybody else. Like he's just walking around, scoping out how he can pull it off. Then at some point, I don't know if
did you say real quick, or I don't know if I heard that supposedly he was like yelling at himself. He was like just going nuts.
Oh, I haven't heard anything about that.
Yeah, I think I heard that. Yeah, I heard that he was like just acting weird, like he was just yelling at himself and like weird.
Well,
shit.
maybe that's true, and that'll come out. I haven't heard that. But if he was, then my gut on that is that that's a ploy to try to seem crazy.
Mm-hmm.
It's intentional. It's like you're setting the stage in case you get caught or whatever, or you get killed. Maybe he knows he's going to die and whatever. You're trying to set the stage that he's crazy. Anyway, so then he doesn't go up where that. On video, there's a big 10-foot ladder that goes up right behind where he was. That ladder wasn't even there when the shooting occurred, and that's been proven by plenty of videos. But he doesn't go up there. He goes up where on the other side, one building back, where the police snipers are in the windows, but they're facing the other way. He goes up on a air conditioning unit in the shed behind that building, then onto the roof. That's where you see him running across. And then when you lose sight of him, that's because he's going down the pitch of the building that's behind the building he eventually ends up on. He goes down the pitch, then jumps down about a foot onto that, whatever, that little bridge thing that goes across to the next building, then comes up, bear crawls up there, pops his head up to check, where he's at and whether it's a good shot from there. And that's what you see in that video. So all this stuff is allowed to happen. They know about it, and it's still allowed to happen. Then the Secret Service is definitely made aware of someone on the roof 20 minutes prior to the shooting. Now, I've also heard reports that there was supposed to be a sniper on that roof, a police sniper, I believe, or it might have been Secret Service, I'm not sure, but whoever it was decided it was too hot, so they went down. So it's understandable that the sniper's looking at that roof, hearing that there's a guy up there with a gun, would think, well, okay, we have a sniper up there. Because what they did is their communications were crap. Like, they were on different channels, the police and Secret Service, and I think that's intentional so the Secret Service can claim ignorance because they know what's going to happen. So all this stuff happens. It's it's beyond the pale of incompetence.
Yeah.
Like, the Secret Service cannot, nobody, I could rent a security, I could just go online and look up security for an event. And there's going to be all these different companies. I could pay any one of them just by throwing a dart at it, and they would have did a better job.
No.
Right? No doubt in my mind. So this bad job is intentional. And like I said, the whole point of it is we'll take the heat because we were able to seize power permanently, is how they look at it. He's gone. We now have locked it down again.
Yep.
So, we'll take some criticism, not a problem. We get all the money and all the power, and you guys get to shout some names at us. Great. Basically, the deputy director of the FBI stated under oath in Congress he lied, because he said that they had an account for crooks that was pro-Trump, anti-immigration, anti-Jewish, far-right extremist. Then the owner of that social media company, Gab, came out and said, no, his account is unequivocally pro-Biden, right? So the FBI tried to characterize him. So basically what the FBI did is they went before Congress and the American people and said, a pro-Trump supporter shot Trump.
Jesus.
Right? This is how bad it's gotten. That they're actually trying to, and they put the little caveat in there to kind of cover their ass that we think it's his account, but we haven't confirmed it yet. So they're like going, well, if you guys call me on it, I'll go, yeah, but we didn't know for sure that it was his account. No, what they're trying to do is make you believe that he's a far-right extremist, pro-Trump supporter. Like, it makes no sense. It's like, who shot Biden? A Biden supporter. Like, why? What? But then the CEO of that company comes out, of that social media company comes out and says, no, you're lying. And they were counting, the FBI's counting on their intimidation tactics, basically, that this guy won't have the balls to come out and contradict them. But he did. So the FBI went before Congress and lied to Congress and the American people about the assassination of Trump, the shooter, intentionally to mislead Americans. So what my point is that you have crooks acting the way he acted. And just that alone, you could say, yeah, he did it and the Secret Service is super incompetent. I still don't buy that because of the history of the government. But with the FBI going before Congress and lying, they have proven that they are complicit in this. And not only that, but the Texas firm Austin Wealth, that's connected to BlackRock, that's their main customer or overseer, basically. Mm-hmm. BlackRock Investments being the biggest investment corporation in the world, the one who wants the social media and all that. I mean, the social accounts for everybody, wants to control the whole world. This company is connected to them. On the day of the assassination, they did a filing to short sell 12 million shares of Trump stock, which means basically you're borrowing them from a broker and you're saying, I bet this stock's going to go down, and if it does, you get the difference. From what you bought it at to what it goes down to, you get the difference. So then they shoot Trump, but it only nicks him. And then all of a sudden those shares, which are now legally bound to them, are taken off of the financial whatever they use. I'm not real versed in that. And then they came out with a statement and said it was a clerical error. We didn't mean to short sell 12 million. We were trying to short sell 1,200. Right? So that's what happens at companies like this. People go, oh, would you want to sell 1,200? At 12 million. Right? It's bullcrap. I mean, and on the day he gets shot, which would have made them about $200 million. So when you got BlackRock companies, okay, and then so BlackRock subsidiary does that now, and then BlackRock, you got the shooter crooks in a video with BlackRock.
Yeah.
So you got BlackRock connected to crooks. You got a BlackRock company short selling Trump's shares on the day he gets shot. You got the FBI lying to the American people under oath, and then you have the geo tracking of his phone, right? So in the call logs. So you had someone from Washington D.C. in an 11-story building. I forget the name of it, but it's right down the street from FBI headquarters, and it has a whole floor. One of the whole floors of that office building are FBI offices, the whole floor. And someone from there was visiting crooks.
That's crazy.
Right? So you got the FBI probably the FBI visiting crooks. You got the FBI lying under oath. You got BlackRock, who's actually instrumental in this one world government, has a video with this guy, so they got their hands on him and were able to manipulate him. And then you got a BlackRock company trying to short sell 12 million shares worth about $200 million the day of the assassination. So you got all this circumstantial evidence that I believe is enough to convict the FBI of treason.
Yeah.
So that's what I think happened there is a government orchestrated conspiracy to kill Trump, regain complete power over Americans and the world. And the evidence is there. Oh, and then there's a lady too. One other thing, there's a lady who works all these Trump rallies, right? She calls herself a mega MAGA.
Mm-hmm.
So whenever a Trump rally comes to Pennsylvania, basically she goes and she volunteers, and she's done this at numerous of them. And they give you like a badge, so you can go in early and you do your volunteering, whatever it may be. But you get an entrance badge, right? So you're wearing around ID. At this event, they didn't have any of them. On top of that, she said that the security there was different than every other one. She goes, this one's really loose. She was thinking this before everything happened. So, it was an intentional security. It's not a security failure. It's an intentional security downgrading in order to facilitate a shooter to come in and execute the former president and probably next president in order to seize power from the American people and get on with their one world government.
Yeah. Benny Johnson, that podcaster, I think he's the one that I heard that he said he heard that Crooks was yelling at himself, and he also said that supposedly this rally was the first one where they actually had snipers, that they've never had snipers before at his rallies. So coincidentally, no, that's what he said. That basically, they didn't really have snipers at. Maybe most of them.
If they're outside, if it's outside, any outside rally, they have snipers. I mean, I haven't actually checked it, but I would be stunned if there weren't snipers at other rallies.
Well, yeah. Well, basically, my point, I mean, kind of basically what you're saying is just, it's for sure there's a conspiracy here. It's just too many coincidences. What I've always told you, man, there's just no way that things can work out so perfectly for these people. Every time it works out perfectly. Everything that they need to happen always happens. And this was going to be no different. Trump dying was going to be, oh my God. Like, you would think God was on their side, you know what I mean? Like, granting all their wishes. So, with everything at stake, basically everything that's happening right now, today, with Trump out of the picture and all that, like, they would have wanted that. It would have been easier for them. I just can't imagine that they would put it all on this one kid, like this one, looked like just a loser kid, So to me, I wouldn't be surprised if there was another shooter somewhere. With technology nowadays, it could have been a silencer type weapon that you didn't even know. And the very first shot, the shot that Trump barely missed, that could have been their shot. That could have been the kill shot, and Crooks was just up there to make it seem like if it was him, like, I mean, we've talked about mind control, we talked about all that stuff before, so who the hell knows what Crooks was going through. He seemed like he wasn't trying to hide. He seemed to me like he just seemed like he was trying to get caught. That was like the sloppiest positioning of an assassin I think that's probably ever been attempted. Like, people saw him, he was running, you could see Trump could have saw him, so I think for sure he was just a patsy, and there might have been, but obviously it's just my theory, but
well, he's another Oswald.
Yeah, I mean, it just seems like it was too much at stake to put it all on this one kid who was messing up from the beginning. He was being so sloppy. Why would he try to get in? To me, it even sounds suspicious that that he had a drone. I mean, I don't know who the hell saw that, but I mean, to me, it just sounds like they're trying to set it up, like the whole planning for him. Like, they're trying to set it up that he must have used the drone to see which was the best location for himself, to shoot Trump. And I don't know. I think for sure they told him where to go. I mean, none of that was probably true, and there probably was a shooter somewhere else that just took the initial shot, and Crooks was just meant to be the patsy that just got got killed, and and Trump was supposed to die, and they were just gonna say, yeah, the lone nut killed this guy, killed Trump, just like JFK, like it was a lone assassin. And now let's move on. Now Nikki Haley would have for sure been like, let's just unite and let's move away from these. You could already hear her saying, let's move away from these conspiracies that are only hurting people. And you can already hear what she would say. Just try to downplay the whole sloppiness of the thing. So
Yeah. So second shooter. That's once again, that's the problem with today. The technology's there. Like if there's a second shooter, they can tell where every bullet hit at what angle. So it's not that hard for even us to do these sorts of things, and you can check the trajectory. You don't need to worry about whether it's silenced or not. You don't have to hear it. You just check the trajectory. Where did the person get hit? Where did the bleacher get hit? Where did anything get hit? Where did the bullet go? Then you can tell exactly where it came from, right? And
what
so everything I've seen is one shooter, and I don't have any problem with that because he almost damn near did it, right? It almost fucking worked. In 99 times out of 100 or 90 times out of 100, that's going to work, right? So it was the hand of God came in there and told Trump, hey, look over here, right? If it wasn't for God, he's dead. So it wasn't a bad plan. They had, it would have worked, but you know, I'm not sure. I think basically what happened because this guy he shows up with a drone, then he's running around with the rangefinder right out in the open checking the range. Then he's walking around the place acting all weird. Then he climbs up on the building, running across the building. Here I am. It's so fucking bad
yeah.
that I think he had lots of instruction. I mean, BlackRock definitely worked him over mentally. He's a loner who, like Oswald, who they manipulated,
Yeah.
and they have a lot of experience in doing that. So there's no doubt that they could do that. But then I think, I think they had a plan in place for him, and he was carrying out the plan. And I think it's sloppy like that on purpose because they want you to look at him and say, yeah, look how sloppy this is. The government can't be behind this. If the government planned this, it wouldn't be this sloppy because he can be sloppy because there's no one there to hold him accountable. Just like the Democrats and a lot of the Republicans and the corrupt people in our government can be sloppy. They can commit crimes. They can do things that are immoral, illegal. But there's no one to hold them accountable because the same people who aren't holding crooks accountable running around like a fucking dipshit, right? Obvious dipshit who's like up to something no good. No one's going to notice that or do anything about it. Same with like Biden taking money from Russia or China. No one's going to do anything about it because the same people who would be holding these people accountable are the same people. They're the same people. So I think it was sloppy on purpose. They did two things there. They made it sloppy so that no one would question who did it. And then they also cut communications between the police and Secret Service for plausible deniability. And I think that's how they carried it out. I think there is just one shooter. I'm not saying there couldn't be a second, but I see no evidence
Well,
of
hold
it.
on, real quick on that note. I found that video I was telling you, so you can watch it.
Okay.
If you see it, it could be manipulated. It could be somebody messing around and put like something that looks like a flash, but the window is the window below Crooks. So if there was going to be a second shooter that took the initial shot, that would probably be the best location.
But
So here, let me play it.
he would be in the same building then as the two snipers that are right up on the floor above.
Oh yeah, I mean, well, if we're thinking this is an inside job, I mean, it's possible
Well, then,
a group of people knew.
now you gotta, yeah, but now you gotta include the police because those aren't.
Well,
secret
just check this out. I
police
mean,
snipers.
this is just obviously speculation. Nobody knows.
So now,
This video could have been manipulated,
right.
but here, let me play it really fast, just real quick.
Oh yeah, I see that.
So people are thinking that could be the glare of the window, but it's just
Or the window. It could be a lot of.
yeah, it could be a lot of things.
Because I see a flash to the left too. Look to the left where that little air tower is. See that? Did you see that on the left? Watch on the left.
Yeah, I saw that.
See it?
Yeah, yeah.
See what's that? What's that flash? Is there a sniper that's visible?
Yeah, so hold on.
Right.
So
What is that flash?
Yeah, who knows what the hell that is.
There's a flash in the window, then there's a flash on the building.
Let me go back real quick, just super fast. Let me see if. Oh man, I don't want to go on because I can't forward on these damn things. I want to make sure this is the window that Crooks is right above. It looked like it was.
Oh, I see. I see what you're saying. This window isn't where the snipers are. This is the building he's actually on.
Yeah, he's on it.
Right,
so
it's right above him. Right.
Yeah, so it's basically coming from the same angle. But that video that
but if that flash in the window means sniper, then what does the flash on the left mean?
I don't know.
You see that flash, right?
I didn't know. Yeah, right there. I didn't notice it.
Right. That just pretty much blows that whole video up because there's a flash in the window and then there's a flash next to the window.
So yeah,
outside of the building.
Yeah, so
and
it could be like a glare. It could be like a glare, but I mean, obviously none of it makes sense. So this kind of it's not too far fetched to think that they might have had somebody with a super silent sniper rifle right there. Crooks was the patsy. This was the initial shot. This was the initial shot that was supposed to take Trump out. He missed, and then Crooks probably shot. He's the one that shot the spectators and shot everything, and he got taken out right afterwards.
You know what? And you know what else? There's people in that building too. There's police in that building because after the shooting, they meet up in that building.
Yeah, but that's what I was telling you the other day. There being people in that building, it looks like a aluminum roof. How do you not hear that?
Yeah, you would hear.
Yeah, you would hear that shit. Like
I don't know if they were in the building during the shooting, but right after they were.
Well, supposedly they were in the building right behind the building that Crooks was on, and so basically you could you could probably even see Crooks from the window they were in. So unless I don't know, there were small windows.
You can, but what I'm saying is the snipers in those two windows that are behind him to if you're looking at this video, it would be to the left. They would have to look out the window. They're set back. They're like sitting on a chair back in the window a couple feet with their sniper rifles camouflaged so that they, and that's the way you're supposed to do it. But in a situation like this, you can be up closer because you're not in combat.
Let me.
But my point is,
yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say,
what's interesting about this is like.
Go ahead.
I was going to say what's interesting about this. I've seen a lot of people speculate about a second shooter, water tower, this window, wherever. And isn't it interesting how people operate? Because after JFK and even today, people are still talking about a second shooter there, which I believe there was. But my point is that it doesn't really matter if there's a second shooter. It does if it helps you get to who did it, who ordered that shot. But the shooter himself doesn't matter. Just like in JFK, it doesn't really matter who shot. Yeah. What matters is who ordered it.
Yeah.
And the United States government ordered Trump. So who's ever shooting, one or multiple, it doesn't matter unless that you find a second shooter and you can somehow implicate the government through that. But I doubt there's a second shooter. The trajectories all look like they came from one place.
Well, on that note, let me play the computer animation of the shooting. I don't know what the hell documentary this is from, but yeah, these people are quick, man. So yeah, technology nowadays is
so I'm saying it's
for sure going to be a lot harder.
Hard to get away with assassinating the president.
Yeah. Okay, so here's the computer animation version.
Here you can see the 3 victims that were injured by gunfire and where they were standing in the bleachers. We're going to turn around and demonstrate exactly where these bullets came from. This model represents Thomas Crooks. Now let's take a look at this first shot fired. Coming from our key location, bullet 1 grazes President Trump's ear. This is the same bullet that hits a spectator in the stands. We know this through video evidence. As President Trump is talking, the first shot rings out just after he says, "Take a look at what happened."
Something that said, "Take a look at what happened."
We can see the vapor trail of a bullet strike, which is the same bullet that struck President Trump's ear a split second earlier, and this video is this location here. Back at the podium, President Trump is shot and grabs his ear, falling to the ground as more shots rang out. In total, there were 7 or 8 shots, so let's rewind and watch this at regular speed.
Take a look at what happened.
With all that gunfire, it's easy to understand how these spectators were injured, even though they were not the target, including the sole spectator who lost his life that day.
Yeah, that was the only clip I got.
I've seen that.
As we circle around,
So
we can see how all the paths of the bullets were hitting in the location of this forklift machine, causing one of the hydraulic hoses to burst.
So you saw this one?
Here you can see the 3 victims that were injured by gunfire and where they were standing in the bleachers. We're going to turn around and demonstrate exactly where these bullets came from. This model represents Thomas Crooks. Now let's take a look at this first shot fired. Coming from our key location, bullet 1...
Alright, the conspiracy theorist in me can't help but wonder if whoever made this video is also part of the cover-up.
Well, you have that element, right? There are elements like that.
You know
I've seen some videos where
this is
people
pretty
were
quick.
trying to. Right, people were trying to. I could see there are some YouTube videos I watched where people seemed like they were plants and they were trying to spread false information.
Yeah.
So you're going to have that.
Mm-hmm.
So you just stick with what you know, and like we don't know about a second shooter. I could say this: the water tower is out. I mean, it's out for multiple reasons: the angles and you know, getting up there, and then like the space up there. It's just crazy. How would you get out, right?
Hold on. Well, just
so
to kind of settle that
shooters-
one here, I got video of that
That
one.
chart's a couple of months old, and if
This is
you
what people
want to
were
really see
focusing
something
on,
to
that
say,
shadow
take
right
a look
there.
at what happened.
Like on the side of it. What is he repelling down?
Well, it does look weird, but to me, I don't know if it's manipulated again.
Yeah, but
And then it stays there. After the shot, it stays there.
A railing down there, a walkway.
Yeah, I don't know.
That chart's a couple of months old, and if you want to really see
So
something
anyway, obviously we're just talking about the assassination. We're gonna be looking at every angle. So, you know, for anybody, it's up to you guys to figure out. But as far as the animation one, I mean, I don't know. It would be easy to how could they really know every shot, where every shot hit, and be able to trace it all the way back?
Well, you can tell.
Some of the bullets had to have gone.
You can tell
past-
based on where.
Huh? Not
Well, I think
all of
there's-
them
there's
hit
more than
something,
one enemy.
and they were able to, you know, find the bullets and just match them. Obviously, they
Oh,
know
they found them.
how many, every single one. So
Yeah, there's only 8 bullets, and yeah, it wouldn't be hard to find them. Well, I mean, unless the one skipped off into the distance, but
yeah. So I don't know if they'd be 100% able to trace it back to Crooks. You know what I mean? Like, you can't, not every single bullet. It would only take one to come from someone else, and even if it was in the same vicinity of where the other bullets fell, you couldn't do it with 100% certainty. You know what I
let me
mean?
put it to you like this: if there's a second shooter, why isn't he dead?
The second shooter? No,
Yeah, if
he
there's
was
2
probably-
shooters,
he was probably freaking.
So, in other words, 2 shooters missed.
Yeah.
Yeah, so right, you're doubling the odd. You're doubling the odds of there not being a second shooter because he missed. I mean, in order for there to be a second shooter, now you have 2 people shooting who missed. So now you have double the screw up, right? And it's probably unlikely if you had a second shooter, he's probably hit a lot more severely, if not dead. So, I mean, and like I said, there's been other videos. There's other videos with these trajectories on them. It's not the only one I've seen. So the thing with that is, like, as you get multiple people doing it, yeah, you could have somebody who tries to manipulate it, but there's going to be thousands of these trajectory videos made. And so it won't be hard to pick out the ones that are full of crap, because most of them are going to agree. And all the ones, I haven't seen any of them that didn't agree yet that that's the trajectory, but I'm sure somebody will try to do that, change the trajectories, but everyone I've seen so far agrees. And by numbers, you can figure out that, yeah, this is right, because everyone's getting the same answers, or the majority are getting the same answers. So there needs to be more evidence of a second shooter.
I'm just open to the ideas only for that one reason that I just can't imagine they will put it all on this one kid. They really either that BlackRock commercial, which I have right here, but either immediately the day after they shot that commercial, they took him aside and said, "You're gonna be the savior of the country," and just started pumping in the here. We're gonna send you out to get trained, and you're gonna save America from this dictator, and just completely brainwashed his ass, and they knew, and they started training him to shoot, and they knew he was gonna be a great shot. Less it was that, but if what they're trying to say is that he just planned this. I mean, I don't know when the hell they planned this particular rally. Man,
They had
I don't think it
10
was
days
months in
to-
advance. So how the hell would
10
he
days.
know? 10 days? Yeah.
10
So
days.
and he lives around there. So you know what I mean? Like, so
Right, so
whatever the
what
hell they did, like it couldn't have been months in planning with him. Like I don't know. It's hard. It's hard to put it.
Sure. When was that? Do we have a timestamp on that BlackRock video?
They're saying it was a year ago. They're saying it
Okay,
was, so
so
that's not that long
they
ago.
didn't.
It's not that long.
Right, but it wouldn't take them that long to psychologically manipulate some guy like this who's very anti-Trump, anti-political, contrary to what the FBI lied to Congress. He's anti-Trump.
No,
Then
but if
he's a
they're doing
lover.
that, I would imagine they would also be training him to shoot. So they either trained
probably-
his ass to shoot, and they knew, okay, you better be a fucking good shot because we're probably only gonna get one chance at this.
Well,
what I mean?
he was going to the gun range frequently. So he was
Well,
practicing
yeah, that's
shooting.
true. That's true. I keep forgetting about that. That yeah, he was.
And his dad had like I don't know how many guns, 20 guns or something like that. So this is a family that goes to the range and shoots. So he's very familiar with shooting. It's not like this. So I think what they did here was okay for a second shooter. Another problem you have with that, and the reason they didn't use a second shooter on this one was because if you have a second shooter, now you got a fucking government conspiracy, right? So if they catch that second shooter or find out even that there is a second shooter, the American people are automatically going to the conspiracy. With a single shooter, you're much more likely to convince people that it's not a government conspiracy. And if you have a second shooter, it's going to get figured out. So you don't have to worry about that. If there's a second shooter, it will be figured out because all the technology, all the video, and all the trajectory work they can do with recreations, you're going to have, like I said, thousands of these things over time, and it will be figured out. But to have a second shooter on the government's part is like saying, hey, that's a huge risk on our part, right? We got a lone nut gunman, right, like Oswald. If we put a second one in there and all these videos are rolling, they're going to figure out the trajectory. So him being right in that window below him isn't bad because the trajectory is very similar.
Yeah.
So I could see that, but then you got a flash on the side there. So I don't know. There's not a second shooter, but I would say right now we don't have any evidence to say there is.
No, that's just these two quick videos and stuff like that. So, there's one video. I mean, but who the hell knows? I mean, this one came out pretty late. I think it's been over 2 weeks since this video came out.
Yeah,
There might be more, but yeah, basically kind of on what you said. For there to be a second shooter, there had to have been a bunch of way more than this one shot. Of crooks running on the roof, in that direction. There had to be way more cameras pointing in that direction. So if there was a second shooter, it's on somebody's camera, and they just don't see it. They don't know it yet. So who the hell knows?
there's still going to be.
But for them to take that chance, yeah, for sure. I get what you're saying. It would just be clear cut that it was a conspiracy. So they probably might not want to take that chance.
Like I said, so the government orchestrates this. They cut communications with the police. They have 7 sectors within the fairgrounds that are Secret Service controlled. This building is right outside of that sector. So this isn't Secret Service controlled. This is police controlled. Cut communications with him. Brainwash him up over a year or longer, right?
Yeah.
Get him to do this. He's going to be the hero of the country and of the world because he's a threat to democracy, all that. Yeah. Then you give him a plan, but you kind of let him just go do his thing. Go ahead and look like a dipshit out there running around, with rangefinders and drones and running across the roof and being real obvious, right? Go ahead and do that because the people who are going to notice you and did notice you and took pictures of you and sent out this information, we didn't hear it. We cut you off from communication. And so this guy does look like an amateur, but it was intentionally looked like an amateur.
Yeah.
Therefore, you can't blame the Secret Service for being part of it. You can blame them for being incompetent, but you can't blame them for being part of it, right? And if you want to blame anybody, blame the police. But if you do get back to us, hey, we didn't have any part of it. Look at how this guy's operating. We wouldn't operate like that. That is their plan. That was their whole strategy.
That's a safer bet on their part for sure. But just with technology these days, shit. Hell, I wouldn't put it past it. They probably had an invisible cloak on them. So a second shooter was just.
Well, yeah, who knows?
Who the hell knows what the hell they could do these days? But
right, yeah, there's stuff we don't know about. That's why it's funny that the Secret Service said they didn't fly any drones that day because their drones weren't operating. There was something wrong with the internet or something. But the shooter himself flew a drone. The police offered the Secret Service drones. The Secret Service turned them down. The Secret Service and the police snipers were supposed to meet prior to the event before they set up. The Secret Service didn't show up to that meeting. So there's no the communication is cut off intentionally. Then you get this kid that you brainwashed to run around acting the fool, right? And then, hey, man, we didn't have nothing to do with this. Look at this stuff. It was in their sector. This guy's acting like a dipshit. It's not even in our sector. And if we had a sniper, if we were going to do it, obviously, we're not going to say this, but you guys would go ahead and extrapolate this, that we would do a better job than that. No. Come on, we're pros. No. This guy's amateur hour, right? So it's all plausible deniability based on no communications, and then you have a guy running around. Now you add a second shooter into that. Now the plausible deniability really goes out the window, and that who's this second shooter, right? Now you got to explain this. Now you got to have two gunmen who are nuts, right? It makes it a lot harder for them to hide it. So it was too big of a risk, and at the end of the day, they pulled it off. Everything worked exactly the way they wanted it, except the hand of God moved in and turned Trump's head.
Yeah.
If that didn't happen, it worked perfectly.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
And everything else did work perfectly, and everyone is talking about, it's probably just a lone nut gunman because look at how he's acting. It's like, this is just, he's, obviously the Secret Service isn't in on it. A lot of people think that way because that's how they orchestrated it. They thought ahead, okay, if we could do it this way, then people will think that there's no way we had anything to do with it because, the government's not stupid. Kennedy and other things that they've been accused of being taken part in. No. So they know these accusations will come. So they go, well, let's just make it look so bad that there's no way we were involved.
I got this other video of Eli Crane. Eli Crane, right? I think is a congressman or a senator? I don't remember.
I don't even know.
Yeah, he's a congressman, I think, but he's ex-Navy SEAL. And he went up there. He's working with that guy, Benny Johnson, on a documentary. But he went up there. So I got this video. It might show different angles. So maybe kind of get a better idea of any possibilities of the stuff. So here, let me play this real quick.
Guys, I'm up here on the building where the supposed sniper took his shot. It's not that steep at all. We just had a 70-year-old man back here climb up on the
water tower
roof easily. See that water tower behind me? Had Secret Service or anybody had sniper teams up there, this guy wouldn't have made it 5 feet up this roof. He would have been taken out. Behind me, you see the windows that Secret Service was supposedly in the second floor of this building.
I don't know if those windows could be opened.
Why they
they're open.
weren't able to quickly
so they can be opened?
They're sitting
the individual. And then behind me, back over here where those red roofs are, that's where the stage was set up. That's where the president was giving his speech from. A lot of questions here in Butler, but we look forward to doing oversight and getting to the bottom of it and making sure it never happens again. All right, guys, I'm up here on the building.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't know where exactly Trump was, but there's a lot of possibilities there. If those windows were open,
they were open.
Okay,
and I know they were open because there were people that went down there, congressmen and et cetera, that went down there and they went in those rooms And then they took a look, and they had to stick their head out the window to see where Crooks would have been. And that's what I'm saying. If one of those snipers with all those people yelling would have stuck his head out the window, he would have seen him. But they're sitting back a couple feet in the room, and so their vision is narrow.
Yeah. Well,
they're not. That's not where they're looking. They're not looking there.
No. So I'm just wondering, can you see Trump clearly from those windows where he was standing? So, you know what I mean? Who the hell knows?
Yeah. They can see him. Yeah.
Yeah. So to me, like, the conspiracy theorist part of me wouldn't be surprised if there was somebody in there. He took the first shot. Crooks was the patsy. He took all the other crazy shots around him, and then he got taken out, and basically everything that's happening now is what it was. And yeah, they both missed. They both missed Trump. Because the other thing that I thought was weird too, not even in regards to a second shooter, was just I didn't have a video of it, was the sniper that did kill Crooks. Like, if you watch that guy when that happens, like, he's looking around through his scope, and I think the way it works is they have a point man. Somebody's on the side that has like binoculars, and he has more of a sight because he's not just, you know, using one eye through the scope. And after the shots are taken, you see the guy with the sniper gun. He like fumbles, like, oh there you are, like, and starts shooting, but he kills him instantly. So he's a good damn shot because he just positions his gun and right away kills the guy. But how the hell did you see him at that point, but you didn't see him the whole time before that? You know what I mean? Like, everybody's yelling.
This is how that worked. Is how that worked. Check this out. This is a really good point you make. Check this out. This is what they did. The Secret Service and the police had coordinated that there would be a sniper on that roof. Right? That was the initial plan. Whoever was up there left that roof. It was probably Secret Service. Left that roof because they said it was too hot. It might have been police. Actually, I think it might have been police. But anyway, they left the roof because it was too hot. So now the Secret Service agents, snipers, they believe that who's on that roof is a Secret Service or some sort of sniper for law enforcement. Mm-hmm. So now they're confused. And keep in mind, the communications have been cut off.
Yeah.
So the guy leaves the roof. The snipers don't know that he left the roof, and then they're probably still thinking that's
their own guys,
a law enforcement sniper up there.
Yeah.
But he's tripping right now because he's like, what the fuck? What is he wearing? Why has he got long hair? You know what I mean? So what he's seeing and what he knows he should be seeing, he's having a little conflict there. I think that's why he's popping in and out of the scope. Like, what the fuck am I looking at? This guy doesn't have any tactical gear, and he's not in uniform, right? So I think that the AIC, the agent in charge, somehow manipulated the situation where they would have everyone believe that there's going to be someone on the roof, and there was. Yeah. And then that person leaves the roof, and they got them to leave somehow. And then the snipers, they put their own snipers at a disadvantage because these snipers don't know what's going on. They're legitimately trying to protect the president. Only the AIC knows, the agent in charge. So when the snipers get word of it 20 minutes before, there's someone on the roof over there, they're thinking, yeah, there's a sniper over there that we put up there. Right? This was I mean, it's actually very well set up.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say, man. If that is what happened, then they planned it out to the very last detail, man. Like, right, even their own confusion there, they planned. Like,
there's a sniper there, then he goes down, and then Crooks runs up.
Yeah.
And now there's still a sniper there. It's just a different sniper.
And then the other thing.
And now, if they were smart, they would have. Well, I guess they couldn't. I was going to say they would put him in fatigues or something, but then he would look real suspicious. He would look too suspicious to ever get through.
Yeah.
So,
well, I mean, they were calling him an Antifa member, so it actually would have made sense. That's what they all dress like, all military.
Right, but why is he at a Trump rally? Right, he's going to stand out.
Well, that's what they initially thought he was. They supposedly the only text that they got from the Secret Service or whatever, or the police, is that they thought he was an Antifa member when he looked suspicious like 30 minutes or an hour before. They just flagged him as an possible Antifa member, but
right.
Well, I don't know, man. I mean, to me, it just that's what I said. The only other thing is just the level of calm this guy had to have had. You know what I mean? He's positioned himself. He has to hear people yelling. Supposedly a cop did go up on the ladder to look at him, and he pointed his gun at him. So he knows he's caught.
Yep.
He knows it's just a matter of minutes for him to position himself perfectly and get the perfect kill shot. And then, like you said, it's just by the hand of God that Trump turned his head, and he missed by less than an inch, I think. Less than an inch, you know what I mean? Like, what is it, the millimeter from your ear to your head? You know what I mean? So he did it all super fast, like a professional. You know what I mean? Like, he had to been like, he should have joined the damn Navy SEALs, man. Like, so it's just hard. It's just hard to accept all that, man. Like, it's crazy.
Keep in mind, he was in a BlackRock video a year before, and he was getting visits by someone in a building that had FBI offices from Washington, D.C. He got multiple visits from somebody there. Why would a 20-year-old kid in buttfuck Pennsylvania be getting visits from that? Why would he be in a BlackRock video, right? So, you know, you have that. And think how clever that is, though, that they're like, so they set up this whole plan. Everybody there is in the dark except one guy, the agent in charge.
Yeah. And
he coordinates it to where I have a sniper on the roof, then I pull him down, then my assassin comes up and plays that role, and it's going to confuse the shit out of everybody.
Yeah. So then, all right, we're getting close, I guess.
That's pretty damn clever.
At the end, let's just sum it all up, man. So you would think who the agent, that chick that resigned, you think she knew for sure? You think she was probably the one that planned it?
No, I'm not saying that, because she wasn't there, so she's not actually on a need to know.
Okay.
She might have known, she might not have known. We don't know, because she wasn't there.
So you think the AIG that was there that day, that was in charge of that day,
right?
Of everybody AIC. That day. So who the hell have they talked to him? Do they know who he is?
I don't know who it is, but that's the person you need to talk to, because that's the person who coordinated all of this. And yeah.
You think they'd have to keep him secret, hidden? Like, basically, like, just they won't be able to reveal his identity for safety or for, you know what I mean?
I
wonder.
I don't know.
Because I haven't heard anybody even ask for that question. Like, where the hell is he? Where's this person? Why are we talking to you? You're way at the top, but we need to talk to everybody in charge. You know, I mean, not in charge, and involved, basically, with exactly what happened.
You need to talk to the people in charge that were there.
Yeah. I mean, hell, I would want them to talk to that sniper that killed Crooks. Like, talk to him. Like, what the hell? What was your thinking?
Right.
What communications were you expecting that you didn't get? Like, what was going through your mind? What looked weird?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, but then I'd ask them those questions, and sure enough, they only had 2 days to interview these people, and then they went on recess for a whole damn month. They put this whole commission together, and everybody's pissed that this guy Eli Crane wasn't on it, because he's an ex-Navy SEAL, so he has like a little bit of expertise. He was a sniper, actually, and they didn't even put him on the commission that they put together. They actually put some Never Trumpers on there, so everybody's like, "Fuck, this is already like another Warren Commission." Like, they're just gonna pretend, you know what I mean? They're just gonna cover it up also. So,
I mean, it's just a replay of JFK. It really is.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really the same scenario. You got the location change, a little bit of differences, but the overall broad strokes are the same thing.
Yeah.
It's exactly the same. So this is once again, like I said, this is a CIA, FBI run op. Secret Service is agent in charge is in on it as well, and you know, the deep state in the upper parts of the United States government. Those who need to know, and everybody else does not. And but like I said, it's a replay of JFK, so it's pretty obvious what's going on here, even without a lot of the evidence we have. The fact that this is even happening in the same sort of manner is like, here we go. You know, it's too obvious. You guys keep doing the same shit, right? You got Sirhan, you got Oswald, you got Hinckley, you got Crooks, you got all. It's always just like somehow or another, nobody is able
kills
to
the perfect person
for the president, and there's just nothing we can do about it with our gigantic apparatus of the Secret Service, with the billions of dollars of funding, the training, over-the-top training, the technology that's better than anybody's. We have the best of everything, the best people, best technology, best money. We have the best of everything, and we can't stop nobody's from shooting presidents. So even without all the evidence, just that circumstantial situation is, pretty damning to the Secret Service and to the United States government.
To me, like I said, man, it's just always too much of a coincidence, man, that the person that they need killed, it always ends up getting killed or taken out in some sort of, or at least they attempted, you know what I mean? You don't ever hear about somebody trying to
frame.
You never heard of an attempt on George Bush Jr. You never hear an attempt on Dick Cheney or Nancy Pelosi or Chuck Schumer or anybody, you know what I mean, that you know is like
Obama
a
or Biden.
Yeah, anybody that you know is a crooked bastard that's obvious that they're just destroying the planet. You never hear about any attempts on them. It's always the good people that are trying to make the positive change that end up. So to me, it's just too much of a coincidence that it always works out like that. So it's just not possible. It's just a natural occurrence, man. It's just a crazy person. You know what I mean? But obviously, these are just theories. We don't have nothing solid. We're just speculating.
Well, I mean, it's theories, but we have some pretty solid stuff here. I mean, we don't have, I would say, 100% like interview taped where they're talking about how they're going to do it. Yeah, we don't have that, but we have the FBI lying under oath about it. We have the shooter affiliated with BlackRock. We have BlackRock Corporation short selling 12 million shares the day of, worth $200 million. We have Secret Service who cut communications with police that were in control of the sector where the shooting came from. We have a shooter who showed up and acted unbelievably amateurish and obvious, and nothing was done about it. So you don't have a smoking gun, but you got a gun with a little bit of smoke coming out of it for sure. I mean, you can't have all these things together. I mean, the circumstantial evidence is enough to convince me without a doubt, and I don't know what else to say about it. I don't know that you're ever going to get, on video, someone admitting to it.
Well, that guy Benny Johnson, like I said, he's going to work with that guy Eli Crane, so they're working on something like a documentary about it. So hopefully, he played a clip of it. And I don't know. Hopefully it just doesn't come off all corny on it, because he was like narrating it and he was trying to make it sound like all Hollywood, like the shooter's taking a deep breath, his heart's beating as he's pointing his gun at Trump. Come on, bro, you don't got to do all that shit. Just fucking.
Briefly, he reflects on his childhood.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So if he wants to take you serious, don't try to narrate like it's like a damn movie, man. And then we'll see what the hell this commission that they put together ends up coming up with, man. But in the meantime, hopefully more stuff comes out. But I think what we've talked about today is pretty much most of it. It's a lot of it's obvious, you know what I mean. When you got our different points on it, but I just think it's too much of a coincidence. It's hard to believe that they would put it all on this one kid, but there's good reason that why they should have, or you know what I mean. It was why it was less of a risk to just do that. So I guess we'll see, man. But
well, you got to think too, like, so as far as like the kid goes, real quick, is so BlackRock has a hold of him at least a year before, so they groom him up, right? You're getting visits from the FBI, and then all they have to do at that point is like, so they go after him, impeachment, all this stuff that Trump's gone through, the civil trials, the criminal trials, etc., and he doesn't bow out. Which they thought he would. So this is like plan E, F, G, I don't know. But they probably had this plan in place for a long time, and they might use it, they might not need to. But anyway, they know Trump does rallies, and he's done plenty in Pennsylvania around this area. So it's only a matter of time till he comes there. So in the meantime, they groom this guy up, psychologically buck him.
Is it a battleground state?
And that's what they did. And then they just wait their time for him to come. And then once he's coming, they announce it. The Secret Service, CIA, FBI, they go to work, or really the CIA probably, FBI go to work on, okay, this is the location. And they come up with a plan. How can we kill him? And how should we do this, right? We have this guy. They probably have other assets as well that they have groomed up. But this guy happens to be here. Right, I'm sure there's more than just crooks out there in other cities, other places. But they have him here, so we can use him. Okay, this is the location. This is the person. Okay, how can we do this? And then this is the plan they came up with. And it was a damn good plan because it's almost counterintuitive that you would do it like that because it's stupid, right? He's going to get caught. But if you have the situation controlled, he doesn't get caught, and he didn't. So I think I don't have any problem with them doing it, being able to get him, manipulate him. You can manipulate people, especially when you're like the CIA and you're the fucking best at it in the world, damn near, if not the best at psychological manipulation. I mean, I'm sure they got playbook after playbook on how to do this stuff. They do it all the time. So they manipulate him up. Trump comes to town. Okay. We got 10 days. We got 10 days to come up with a plan. They came up with a plan, put it in place, executed it, came a millimeter or two from working.
Yeah, man. Yeah, you're right. The plan was perfect. They damn near pulled it off.
Because it's a different plan, right? Like, it's still sort of the same as Oswald. Oswald is manipulated and psychologically worked up and groomed up as well. But they keep him hidden, right? He's not out in the open. You never even seen him at the scene, right? Yeah. This guy's all over the scene. So they had him do the same function as Oswald, but act a lot differently. Yeah. In that way, they could say, hey, well, this is different. Like, he's acting, look how he's acting. This is weird. Like, this guy, there's something wrong with this guy, right? So it's coordinated attempt.
One thing I forgot we didn't bring up that I've been wondering this whole damn time is the cop that goes up there and sees Crooks. Why the hell didn't he, because you're saying maybe the communication was, maybe he tried, but they haven't interviewed that guy. The cop that went up there and saw him.
They did. They did send it out right away. Hey, we got a shooter on the roof, but that was 30 seconds before he fired. So they had 30 seconds to do something about it. And I don't know I don't think that communication gets to the Secret Service because, once again, that's police and Secret Service on a different channel. So the snipers aren't hearing anything.
So whoever's decision it was to let Trump go on stage, like, obviously it has to be somebody already clear for Trump to go on stage, and he didn't get the word that there's somebody suspicious on a roof with a gun, like. So that person,
the Secret Service did have that word 20 minutes prior, but the AIC goes ahead and approves. Go ahead and go forward with it.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
And the snipers, they're thinking, yeah, there's somebody on the roof. The police are saying there's somebody on the roof, but the Secret Service snipers are going, yeah, there's a sniper on the roof that we put there, and the AIC is going, yeah, that's right. Go ahead and go out on stage. We're good.
Okay. No, so I'm just saying, like, how the hell could they really direct it to somebody that's really responsible? If you're saying that AIC, whoever made the decision for Trump to go on stage, is the last person that for sure knows. You know what I mean? Like,
he's the person there that knew and coordinated it. Yeah.
Okay. Because that's the whole question. Why the hell did they let Trump go on stage with all that shit going on? Why would they let Trump go on stage? So the person that said it's okay for Trump to go on stage is a person that tried to kill Trump. It's the person that said the plan is in motion. Let's do this. Okay.
So then the police are going, hey, there's someone on the roof, and the Secret Service are going, yeah, that's us. That's what the snipers are thinking.
Okay, well then there you go. That might be the excuse of whoever let Trump on stage is, oh, well, we thought that was a sniper. Dumb us.
No. The AIC, I'm assuming here that the AIC is the one that makes the call that we're good to go. Yeah. Security's in place. Everything's a green light. Go ahead and go on stage. I'm thinking he made that call. Now he knows that the snipers have been switched out.
Okay.
But the snipers and the rest of the Secret Service don't know that. So he's saying, yeah, go on stage and get shot. Where the other Secret Service are like, yeah, go on stage, but we don't got to worry about what just came over the radio from the police or however they got it through to their command center because their radios weren't working. But somehow they got this information. We don't need to worry about the guy on the roof because that's ours. As far as the rest of the Secret Service knows, that sniper hasn't been switched out.
Yeah.
But the AIC knows that sniper's been switched out, right?
Yeah.
So he says, go ahead and go on stage. Your executioner is awaiting.
Yeah. So then for sure they got to do interviews with that guy for sure, whoever that person was.
Yeah, I want to know who that is because I just want to see who it is because I'm like, okay, I know this guy for sure is in on it.
So freaking Well, then there you go, Dan. So yeah,
Oh, hey, and who's in charge of the Secret Service? I think we talked about this, but I didn't know this, and this is more of a recent development. I don't think this has been for a very long time, but the Homeland Security is now in charge of Secret Service. You know who runs Homeland Security?
Alejandro Mayorkas.
Yeah, and Alejandro Mayorkas is the guy who is letting all these people come into the country illegally. He is the most arrogant, pathological liar I've ever seen in my life. You gotta watch this guy testify before Congress. You want to see arrogant liar?
No.
Watch this guy. This guy, he's in charge of the Secret Service. So he gets the AIC. That's all he needs. It tells him what to do. The FBI, CIA, Homeland Security, they all coordinate. The Attorney General, the government in general, the people at the top that need to know, they all coordinate this. 10 days to plan it. We got the guy in place. We've already been working on him. He's ready to go. We just need a plan. Here's the plan. This is what we're going to do. Boom. And it all happened.
Yeah. As far as guys at the top, yeah, people are speculating that Alejandro Mayorkas and Christopher Wray for sure were part
But they both know.
Yeah,
they both
they know for sure what the hell.
Absolutely.
That this was going to happen, man. So
yeah.
But will they get interviewed?
But see, the thing is, they have to know, because not including them or them not being part of it. I mean, not only do they know, they're probably they know, but not including them. Now you got the people who can hold people accountable. They don't know what's going on. Now they're going to investigate. Yeah. But if they're in on it, they know what's going on. Well, now you got the investigators in on the crime.
Yeah.
So who's going to investigate the crime?
That's always the case, though. They always leave it up to them to investigate themselves. It's so stupid.
Well, this is how our country's been run our entire lives, and before that, since Kennedy at least, we just weren't aware of it. And that's the beauty of Trump, like I've said before, is that by him becoming president and not getting down with them, he's really and not being scared by them.
He's exposed them all.
He really forced them out of the shadows into the light.
Yeah.
A lot of it's coming out into the light. So we didn't know. We had speculated with the JFK, but we didn't know the extent of this whole thing was even till now. And they've been in control of the government the whole time, and our whole election system and everything like that. It's all been a facade.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's crazy. I mean, what's going on in the world right now? Women beating up men, fucking mocking God. Men being women, women being men. Everything's backwards. Right's wrong, wrong's right. Moral's bad, immoral's good. I mean, It's insane what's going on. Our government's totally tyrannical. It's
like a question. Something
waking up in a nightmare.
Yeah, no, yeah, for sure. Imagine all this without Trump in the picture. Just how demoralized everybody would have been. You know what I mean? Just knowing like who the hell do we turn to? You know what I mean? Like who the hell else had that power to stop all this? You know what I mean? Like they would have just been way more confident.
Oh yeah.
Real quick, something that we had brought up that day that it happened when we talked. Just Trump's the way what Trump did, his decisions afterwards. I really like what I was telling you, man. I wonder if he had just stayed, just said, you know what, I'm not gonna risk losing my life. I see how far they're willing to go now. I'm not gonna campaign anymore. You guys just have to believe me. Like, you think it would have worked if he had just stayed in this whole time, basically not done these rallies, maybe the convention, like, and you saw what big of a deal it was when people. That was the first time people had seen him. And it was like Jesus, you thought you were seeing, you know what I mean, the Messiah for sure walking, you know what I mean? Everybody wanted to see Trump, but if he had just still stayed hidden, you think it would have worked? Or do you think he had to go back and rally? Like just that he was he still would have been the top contender. He still would have had all the support. You know,
I don't think he had to.
You don't think he had to?
No, I think this is just who Trump is.
Yeah,
you know,
I just wonder
you come at him and he comes back at you. Like he's not going to live on his knees.
Yeah. But damn,
He'll die on his feet before he lives on his knees. You're not going to tell me I can't have rallies. You're not going to tell me any of this stuff. You're not going to strip away my freedoms. I will stand as a lion. I will not fucking bow down to you. And that's Trump's mentality. And most people, you do what you did to Trump, even before the shooting, they all would have been on their knees. Yeah. He won't go on his knees. So they tried to put him on his knees with a bullet. And that didn't work. So now he's going, fuck you guys. he would have did it anyway. He's gonna keep doing rallies, and he's gonna keep doing what he does. Period. You're not gonna strip him of his freedoms. It's liberty or death.
Yeah, I mean, I get that part about his personality, but I just wonder if it would have been just as effective if he just stayed hidden and just kept people's like they kept the story that basically that he's staying hidden because they try to kill him. Let people talk about him, let him sound like more of a myth. He becomes bigger, and maybe he'll just say, "I'll just come out to do debates." But I got to protect myself, and just vote for me and just believe me, and maybe just put out a few videos here and there, but just putting himself at risk out there because even during one of those hearings they had like a whistleblower that said that they're still gonna try to kill Trump. They're still gonna make attempts on him. You know what I mean? So right. I don't know if he meant that because the Secret Service is so are messing up basically left and right, but they're still making threats that they still want to kill him.
They're doing exactly what they wanted. No. There ain't no mistakes there.
Well, I'm just saying that's the excuse that they're using. You know what I mean? But they're
Well, that was in the plan. This is what we're gonna say. We fucked up.
So I guess I'm just wondering if Trump should have stayed, or if he should have stayed just underground, and if it would have been just as effective. But it's still working out for him.
It would have been as effective. I mean, I think he still would have been fine, election wise.
Yeah.
We're assuming that we have a non-rigged election, but if we have a non-rigged election and he does what you're saying, I think he still wins. But I think the more important thing here is these guys are fucking murder animals. Yeah. Like they are coming at you no matter what. And if you flinch, now they're really coming after you because now they've seen that they've got to you. They found a little weakness. Yeah. So if Trump flinches on this one, that's going to embolden them. So I think for Trump, he's like, screw you, I ain't backing down. And I think
maybe
yeah. So I think this was. Trump
I could see him hiding, kind of what you're saying, and
that's what they
instead
want.
of him, they probably go after his family or something, just try to get to him another way. You know what I mean? Like they probably just go another route, just kill somebody else close to him, and start trying to just demoralize him.
Well, I think if he was to hide out more, I think that would give a lot of people the impression that oh, he's scared. Right, even though it's legitimate.
No, but I thought about that. But that would even be with good reason. Like even the
right, it's legit. Yeah. But at the same time, it gets into people's heads. I think it's a bad look. I think it's a way better look for him to come out and say, I ain't scared of you guys. Screw you.
So I guess my point is just kind of that him doing that just kind of downplayed it. So now they're calling him a coward for not wanting to debate Kamala on a different network. You know what I mean? They wouldn't be doing that if he had stayed hidden, calling him a coward when, the last thing they saw of him was they almost killed his ass. You know what I mean? But now the fact that he's kind of downplayed it, that he's going back like as if it never happened almost. Now they're able to go back to the attack mode like, oh, you're a coward. You know what I mean? You don't want to debate Kamala. Like, people are like, how the fuck dare you guys, man? Like, this guy almost got killed and shit. You're going to call him a coward because he doesn't want to go on freaking MSNBC? Like, it's ridiculous, man. But so I don't know. I guess I've been wondering that, but
I think the reason he turned down the debate at first, I know they did schedule one though, right?
Well, I guess it's a conflict of interest. He's suing ABC. He's suing Stephanopoulos. So he suggested Fox because he agreed to everything on CNN. You know what I mean? Like it was an enemy network of his. They wanted no crowd, nothing like that. So he tried to make the conditions this time, and this time Kamala backed down, and now they're saying that he's a coward for not agreeing to her terms.
Oh, so there is not one scheduled now?
Supposedly he's saying that he's still on for the Fox one. If she doesn't show up, he's saying he's still gonna be there. So it's gonna be on her. So which is a pretty good move.
But don't you think so this is what I see that he did here is. So the convention's on the 19th, August. It's this month, and that debate was scheduled for September 4th, I believe. So he's thinking the same thing I'm thinking. I don't know that she's the nominee.
Yeah, I've been wondering that too.
Why am I going to debate her? You guys haven't even nominated her.
Yeah. Well, no.
Right?
Well, everything's
I'm not going
backfiring.
to. If he debated her before the convention, then he's saying that she's the nominee.
Well,
I don't know if he's thinking that, but that's kind of
no. Well, put it like this: everything backfired so much, so I think I've been telling you that they couldn't get rid of Kamala because of what Larry Alder said, and I think that's really what it was. That if they had replaced Kamala with somebody else, that they would have lost the whole black women vote. But that's happening anyway. That's happening already. You know what I mean? That's so they lost that. So to me, it really is starting to seem like that excuse isn't going to work anymore, because they've lost the black women vote. They're all going for Trump now, or at least, you know what I mean. Nobody's believing that because she's trying to use the black angle, and they're not believing that she's black. You know what I mean? She's never used that before. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they do replace her. At the convention, because now it just seems more likely, just because Trump's getting everybody. He's getting the whole black vote now. So yeah, who knows? That might be part of the strategy too. Like
I don't know.
He doesn't think she's going to be the nominee, but yeah, as far as the debate, yeah, that was the last thing I heard. That he's claiming that he's still going to show up, and so it's up to her if she wants to show or not to the Fox debate.
Yeah, so I don't know.
Well, we covered a lot, bro.
I know this convention is going to be real interesting. Stay tuned.
Yeah. What's it called? So I think we covered a lot today. I think pretty much all the things, you know what I mean, except for most of the.
Yeah.
You got a lot of the testimonies that they did at the hearings, but I guess we got to wait till they come back in freaking September to see what direction they go in the investigation. So I think we're good for today on this topic, my brother. We'll just we'll update stuff as stuff comes out.
Let me just 2 minutes real quick.
Yeah, go for it.
I just want to sort of summarize what we have here, because the Trump assassination attempt it's very straightforward. We have a lot of information very early on, unlike we did in the past with things, because of the technology, the video cameras, the internet, etc. So the pieces are all there, most of them. It's very straightforward. So the evidence clearly says you have one of two things, and only one of two. You either have a lone nut gun shooter who was able to just come in there with a drone, a rangefinder, AK, or whatever, a gun, and run around and act really suspicious, on roofs, running around, everything. And so the Secret Service is either a level of incompetence that's never been seen before, or the Secret Service is in on it. It's one of those two for sure. So pick your poison, right? Secret Service has been, complicit in other assassinations, especially JFK for sure. So obviously, to me, that's it, and then FBI lying. But this one's just so clear. That's why we're able to go through it so quick. All the information's out there. It's very accessible. You can figure it out pretty quick, and just use common sense. Yeah. Apply the common sense to all the information you're getting. And the conclusion is massive incompetence that's beyond the pale, or government conspiracy to assassinate a president.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go with the government conspiracy to assassinate a president, because just on that alone, that's way more likely. Then when you add the FBI lying to Congress about the assassination, the BlackRock situations, it's the evidence is overwhelming that the government was complicit. Yeah. And like I said, we'll get some more stuff, but it'll trickle in now a lot less. Yeah. But there will be more stuff that comes out.
Yeah, no, that was good, bro. You're right. So yeah, I guess we'll just find out as the weeks and days go by, man.
Yeah.
If we don't go into World War III today.
And honestly, if Iran and Israel end up in full-blown war, like I said, once again, you go back to the Bible in Revelation, it says the end of days. You know when that's going to come? Here's another sign. 10 nations will be attacking Israel. You already got Hamas, Hezbollah, so you got Gaza and Lebanon, and now Iran wants to get in. And, you start adding some more. You can see how this goes, right?
Yeah.
You can see how this looks like it's right out of Revelation. If that happens, though, where they get into full-blown war, that will definitely include others. So the number of 3 will be up a lot higher real quick. And it won't take long to get to 10 probably. And you got Jesus coming back right then. That's really when it's going to happen. So it looks like we're really close, but like I said, I'm just a person speculating on this, but I'm doing my due diligence and doing what the Bible says to do and look for these signs, and these signs are just massive.
Well, man, I mean, the points you always make is as far as the correlation between events and money. You see what the stock market's doing. It's everything's pointing that way, man. Like they're saying the Lockheed stock is shooting up while everything else is going down. So,
right. And what do they make? Weapons.
Yeah. So
right.
So I guess we'll see, man, by then. But
because nuclear. I mean, Iran and Israel, that could very well end up nuclear very easily. Well, I don't know if Iran has a nuke yet, but I bet if I had to bet, I don't know. It's a 50-50. Honestly, I would lean towards they probably do, and we just don't know about it.
Well, they're putting out propaganda out there, man. Did you see that video that they put out? They put out a propaganda video of like a bunch of like I think they were like Dodge Rams with like drones on them, like thousands of them. They're just shooting into the sky, and it's Iranian propaganda video that they just released like a couple of days ago. Like their state, there's whatever the hell their government, state government, whatever the hell. So they're insinuating stuff, and I think somebody made a comment. Somebody from their government made a comment. Oh, we have nuclear capability or something like that. But right now.
Yeah, but you can't believe them. So we don't know.
It's all propaganda right now. But
I would think they do, though. Honestly, I would imagine they probably do. I mean, Obama gave them what 500 was it $500 million or $500 billion? I don't know. Well, he dropped pallets of money on the tarmac in Iran for what? I don't know. But here's some money to start up your anti-Israel nukes.
Well, didn't the Biden administration release all kinds of money to them too? Like they released sanctions.
And because there were sanctions on them, and they were struggling. Yeah. But now the Biden administration says, "Oh no, we have all these sanctions on them," but they're making way more money off of oil than they were before the sanctions.
Yeah.
So it's once again, it's just a show.
Somebody put a graphic. I don't mean again. You don't know what the hell to believe anymore, man. But it was like how they could track airplanes and stuff like that. So supposedly somebody put a graphic of a shit ton of planes coming from Russia into Iran. So people think that Russia is the one bringing all the weapons to Iran. So for them to do what they're gonna do, but you don't know.
You know what's ironic about that is in Revelation when it talks about the 12 nations attacking Israel, it names them, and Russia's one of them.
Oh, really?
Just the 10th one is the only one that's not named, but 9 of them are named. And Russia's one of them, Iran's one. So, you can see how this is going.
Yeah. Well, we'll see, man. So hopefully nothing happens before we could still do another show pretty soon. So we'll see.
Well, something will happen because stuff is moving fast. So. It's going to happen. I don't know.
I gotta ask you. So as far as the next one, man, just to kind of do a preview, I have what is your opinion on Kyle Rittenhouse, bro? Do you have an opinion on that? Maybe?
Yeah, Kyle. Yeah. No, I watched that whole thing.
Save it if you want, bro. But if you're willing,
I'll just give you my conclusion: is Kyle Rittenhouse was defending himself.
Oh, okay.
Clearly.
All right. Well, then we might have a good show next one. Let's bring that one up.
Disagree?
No, I get that part. I get the defense, but I just don't. I don't like that he's being considered like a hero and a champion for the Second Amendment. Like, you know what I mean? So I got.
You want me to give you? I'll give you a real quick synopsis of why people think that. And
no, he's making it out. He's making himself out to be. He's running with that whole thing. So you know what I mean. But yeah, people are they're believing it too. Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
He's running with it because people started encouraging him and started treating him that way.
Yeah.
And the reason they did, if you take a look at the whole picture real quick, the whole picture is you had government orchestrated riots, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's there, he gets attacked, and he defends himself against the government orchestrated riots who are trying to take away your freedom.
Yeah.
So yeah, people think of him as a hero because he went out in the streets and stood up to the people who are trying to snatch away your freedoms. But he didn't go out there to do that, but he got put into that situation and he didn't back down and he defended himself against tyrannical forces who are government orchestrated. So if you look at it just as a riot that has nothing to do with the government and he's out there doing what he did, yeah, it's still defendable. But is he so much a hero? Not so much. Probably just a person who went to the wrong place, who shouldn't have been there, right? Yeah. And got into trouble. But he was justified in defending himself. But he's not exactly a hero. You look at him more like, hey, this guy's kind of just dumb. But the fact that it's a government orchestrated event, yeah, he's standing up against tyranny. So that's where the hero part comes in. I think for a lot of people who look at him that way, I think that's why they see that.
I get that part of it, but I don't know. We'll talk about it next time, man. So maybe we'll just make that a subject for the next one.
Yeah, I went over that one pretty good, so I have a lot of information on that.
Kyle Rittenhouse? All right, cool. That works.
Yeah. I went over that whole thing.
Okay. Well then, all right then. So I think we're good for today on this one. I think we got over.
All right, brother. Good show.
Well, yeah, for sure. I think we covered pretty much all the main topics that are available right now.
So, I mean, it's just too easy to do this. This assassination one is so easy because the technology, the information is so quick now that it's just so easy to do it that it didn't really even take us that long because of that, which is cool.
Well, if you remember that day, man, we were talking about, like, I think you said it, it's just a matter of minutes before, these videos start coming out. And sure enough, that started happening that same day when the videos started coming out. So imagine if we had that on JFK.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. That's why JFK was so hard to do, was because, the information,
there was no video of it.
There.
Nothing. You didn't even know what the hell happened.
Right, they withheld the video for like 12 years of Zapruder film. And then not only that, but in that one, so the Secret Service and the United States government, FBI, CIA, the way they coordinated that one was their plot there was different in that they're like, we're gonna have a lone nut gun shooter, and we'll have backup shooters, and we're gonna take him out. And then once he's taken out, we're gonna throw out disinformation that it could be, because people will suspect us, so we'll implicate the Russians, the Cubans, and the mafia, and just confuse everybody. No. And they did that, and it worked fantastically for decades. But it's obvious now, if anybody who's listening to this watch our second episode on JFK, it's obvious. You watch that. Clearly, the government killed JFK, and we proved it in that. Yeah. I don't even think it's a doubt in my mind.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's really the same scenario with this assassination as that assassination. It was just, how do we want it to look? On this one, we want it to look like, hey, maybe it was the Russians, maybe it was the Cubans. On the other one, hey, it was just a lone nut gunman who, we didn't have any control over. That's not our sector.
Yeah. You got to imagine, man, how frustrating it must have been back then. You had no idea what happened. You just basically heard he was in Dallas, and then all of a sudden you hear it on the news he's dead, and that's it. You don't get no more information. Obviously what happened to Oswald afterwards, but that's it. You don't get no pictures, no videos, no story, nobody knows exactly what happened. And they just had to swallow that, man. But compared to today where we got everything, right away. You know what I mean? Like back then it must have been so frustrating to just deal with that. Like
that's why it's a little bit of a surprise that they did it. And like I had said all along, I don't think they'll do it because they'll get caught. Yeah. But they did do it, and which means they're desperate.
Yeah, for sure.
All the other things didn't work, so they got desperate and went with the plan that they had in place, but they didn't really want to execute it because of the risk. Yeah. But they got desperate, so they did it anyway. And it didn't work.
Yeah.
They would have been better off not doing it at all.
That's just still so unbelievable, man, how lucky he got, man. Like, that's just crazy.
That ain't luck, bro. That's God. I really think so, too.
Yeah, it has to be. This is never heard of that ever. You know what I mean? You couldn't come up with that in a Hollywood movie, man. Something that close.
Yeah. Yeah, which means if God's hands in that, then that means that God has an interest in this, which means that if that's the case, then
I should have put that.
God, I guess Trump's going to be president,
Yeah,
ordained by God. And
yeah,
then maybe the end times aren't quite here yet, and then he still has a little bit of work to do. I don't know.
yeah.
Really looks like end times, but if he wants Trump in office, that means that he's not quite ready yet. So it's hard to say, God's mysteries are even, you know, you could try to figure those out, but you're not going to figure them all
Well,
out.
it's looking good, man. So hopefully, what God's doing is just giving people wisdom and making them, just to be able to cover every angle as far as the election. And just it seems every step every move that Trump's making is working out, man. Even going to that black, what's it called,
A conference.
that conference for black reporters or whatever it was. Even that worked out for
That
him,
was the setup.
huh?
Yeah, and it was a setup.
Yeah, they tried to set him up, and once again it backfired on them. Like they regret, they were like tweeting that they regretted it.
Like he shows up, and Kamala Harris is supposed to be there, and she doesn't show up. Then the first question coming out the gates, like, "Hey, you're a piece of shit."
Yeah.
That's a total setup.
Yeah.
She doesn't show up, and then they attack him.
But like I'm saying, once
But
again,
he gave her back. That's the nastiest question I've ever heard. You don't even say hi.
yeah, no,
This guy, he just got shot. He's like, "Hey, man, you're not even gonna greet me. You're just gonna come at me with a sledgehammer."
yeah. So it's all working
You're a
out,
nasty
man.
person.
But all right then, Dan. So I think we're good for today, my brother. It was a good show. So
All right,
I'll
talk to you next
hit
time.
you up afterward, brother. Okay.
We'll do the Kyle Rittenhouse.
Yeah, we'll do a segment on here, man. I got some stuff, man. I want to see what you think.
Okay,
Cool. All right, my brother.
sounds good.
I'll talk to you after.
All right, man. Take care.
All right.